Hey, this is the Murder Schmurder crew. I'm Joseph.
This is Jamie.
I'm Austin.
And while we talk about a lot of crazy stuff, this episode's got some especially crazy stuff. It's got a lot of sexual violence. So this is a content warning for anyone who might have experienced that, doesn't want to hear anything, just skip to the next episode. If you've ever dealt with it, or if you are currently dealing with it, there are people you can talk to, and people care.
Look, we here at Murder Schmurder, we like to have fun, but we also like to look out for our listeners too.
Yeah.
So do with that as you will, and please enjoy the episode.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye. So shall we start with me?
Well, hang on. We have to do the.
We have to intro.
Welcome to another episode.
We have to do that?
All right, so on three. On three, welcome to Murder
Wait.
All right, ready?
That's our intro right there. Wait.
Is it on 3 or is it on 3 go?
Obviously, it's all of this.
Welcome to Murder Schmurder.
Welcome to Murder
So glad that you're here.
The only podcast that doesn't know when to fucking start.
Or how to end.
Excuse me, the most professional podcast, okay?
Yeah.
We're pretty good.
I'm Austin. Fuck!
No. I'm Joseph. Fuck!
Okay, but seriously, I'm Jamie. Damn it!
This is Jamie.
Oh, you blew it.
Man, fine.
We got to buckle down, boys.
I'm
Fine.
Joseph.
Okay. I'm Austin.
Fucking
I'm
killed
Jamie.
boy.
Damn it!
It's time to put the big boy pants on and get this party started.
The big red, white, and blue pants, baby.
I'm wearing my little boy shorts. I
It
don't
is
wanna wear big
American
boy
Day
pants.
Eve, and we're
Yeah, it
coming
is.
to you live, but not really.
No, not really.
Not really.
No.
Today's special.
We're as live as Joe Biden is. Beep, boop, boop, boop.
That's where the butterflies are.
And I said, take that to school, Jack.
I don't really know what he said, and I don't think he does either.
Yeah, to have Donald Trump say that is just so bad.
When Donald Trump looks cogent is when we have a problem.
But this is why America loves him. This is that
It's one of the reasons.
because the left makes it so goddamn easy.
Don't associate Joe Biden with the left. I will slap you. The Democrats are fielding a fucking racist scarecrow with what I will refer to as grandpa brain. They're just shoving him out there.
What I said is that you guys, I mean, you fucking put it on a T-ball stand for old Donnie T.
Don't blame
the
us.
Democrats did.
Yeah,
Don't fucking blame us.
I don't even say the Democrats. I'm pinning Hillary fucking Clinton because we had a lefty. We had him. We had Bernie Sanders
What
lined
happened?
up.
If you want to
know.
thank someone for this current
God, I miss
situation,
Bernie.
thank the fucking DNC and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
Fucking bitch. Ruined it all. We had Bernie Sanders
Because
lined
you'd
up
be in
dude,
jail.
with
We
everyone
could be
behind
in
him.
term 2 of Senator Sanders right now. President Sanders. And you
that'd
know
been
what?
so
It would
cool.
be fucking awesome.
You know where Roe v. Wade would be at right now?
Still here?
Still here, baby.
There'd be abortion clinics on every corner like a goddamn Starbucks. And Starbucks would be out of business because they're a bunch of genocide-supporting cunts with bad coffee. Fuck Starbucks.
I
I mean, agreed. Yeah.
Fuck Starbucks.
I kind of want Starbucks baby myself. But anyway, to celebrate America Day, we're going to tell our most American stories.
America's favorite pastime. The DMV.
DMV.
The great equalizer, as Jamie so calls it.
I like to call it the great
It's
equalizer.
probably the best.
It doesn't matter how rich you are,
Dude,
how poor
yes.
you are. If you need to drive,
You
you
gotta
gotta go.
And you got to wait in that line for a minimum of an hour and a half,
Yeah.
like I did today.
Or where I was from, 3 hours. But before we launch into it, I just do want to continue on the idea. Have you ever felt better about yourself than when you're standing in line at the DMV.
No, I feel worse because
Seriously?
I'm like,
Man, I get there.
Compared to the other lineup,
Yeah.
there?
That's what I'm saying. I'm pissed. I'm already having a bad day.
But I'm
driving
better than
down there.
these people.
And then I'm
Yeah.
standing around and I'm like, God damn it, I can't believe I'm in this position to where I have to stand in this goddamn line. And then I hear somebody behind me and I'm like, oh, well, clearly I'm smarter than that person.
Can I-
And then somebody else just shuffles up in like, Donald Duck PJs and like yellow slippers.
And yes,
you know?
no bottoms
And-
because they
and-
are Donald Duck in it.
Yeah, and then no bottoms, and it's like just tries to shuffle in front of me, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy, I'm so sorry." The line starts like 15 miles behind me, and I'm like, "Oh,
You're like,
my bad."
But I took a shit in this
shuffle.
envelope like DMV wants me to. It's like, no, dude, you need other stuff.
That's the doctor's office.
Can
You
I-
need a letter from where you live. I don't live anywhere. You may not be driving today, buddy.
Can I shoot off some texts that I sent today?
Yeah.
I was like watching people show up to the line, seeing the look of hope drain from their face, and see how long the line out the door is. And then those same people try to figure out the QR code system is fucking priceless.
Yeah.
And
dude,
then
it doesn't help that it's so fucking hot outside.
oh my god,
it really
it was
is.
like 90 degrees out there
It's
too.
96
Oh, was it?
degrees
Yeah.
Was
with
it?
like a heat index of like 104.
I'm sweating my ass off. It's fucking. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I haven't seen this light of day in probably years.
My air conditioner is out in my car, so it's like driving. The idea of just driving to the DMV, parking, because I have to go to the one in downtown, so I have
Just
to walk
so you can
4
drive
blocks.
more.
Everybody's gonna love this one. I sent off. It smells like it smells like the ethnic food aisle at Kroger in here. Spicy.
Oh my god.
Jesus,
And then my friend says,
pulling some grandpa talk over here.
Seriously.
Yeah,
This guy's got a case of Ortega pits.
spicy and BO, my friend says. And then I said, a lot of open-toed shoes in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People show up to the DMV like it's their first day of being alive.
Seriously.
Like
Like,
they're like, I pulled on this potato sack and I brought this picture of myself. Like, can I drive?
dude, watching the bottleneck at the fucking front door. Like I said,
My
luckily I
wife
got
signed
there.
the back of my picture. I thought I could have a driver's license now.
Just watching these people bottleneck at the beginning, and they're just like, "What do I do? Where do I go?"
My
And then
favorite.
this guy's like, "Everybody's trying to use the QR code right now. Just send one text message. It will respond. I what?" Like, these cops are like constantly going up to people. You sent 3 goddamn text messages in a row. You gotta start over.
God, those poor employees.
Dude, I'm convinced that aliens have come to Earth and then they just see like the glimpses of how mankind ruins amazing things.
Yeah.
Like we did a huge technological advance in making cars, making them mass producible,
And
being able to
roadways,
sell them, being able like to give them to pretty much every household in the United States. And we just have to fucking ruin that. Just make it the most piss poor experience.
Dude, the interstate system alone is very impressive. That's
Yeah.
an incredible feat of infrastructure.
I think about that, how we just changed our environment by just radically. Like, it's just like even a couple hundred years ago, people would be like, holy shit, people made this?
Yeah. And then you send just 500 just gap-toothed, dirt-eating fucking assholes to a line to yell at a state employee while a cop just is boredly texting on his phone, you know?
Dude, we were born on a planet that grows its own food, and now I have a credit score. Like, how did we fuck this up?
I don't know, my guy.
Of
So badly.
aliens coming down, looking at the DMV, and they're like,
Why don't they just do this online?
Did they build the internet? They built the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, they have that.
What,
Wait a
is-
minute, I don't understand.
Is the internet brand new? No. They started the internet in the 90s.
they've had it for decades.
All right,
It's fucking unbelievable.
Do you-
Austin, your DMV experience is the newest. I love the text messages, but let's
So
Actually, do you think there's like alien DMVs where it's like
there's
it's worse than
probably
ours?
aliens in
Oh,
the
yeah.
DMV. that are just sitting there.
No, they're straight up and down lizard people.
Yeah.
If lizard people exist,
Seriously.
they're soaking up all
Absolutely.
that
Well,
angry
that's
energy.
the thing, because lizard people do feed off of negative emotions and
right.
human energy, and where else are you getting the fucking just Hiroshima of human suffering
Yeah, the
than
guy,
the DMV?
the
Hang
guy,
on, so like
and
it's like
Hiroshima.
Monsters Inc. kind of thing.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The guy behind the little plastic sheet that's protecting them from you goes to the bathroom after he tells somebody they need a fucking, I don't know, high school report card. And he goes to the bathroom, he fucking lights a cigarette and puts it out on his arm. He's like, oh, yes. Oh!
Daddy's close. I just need to tell this single mom she can't drive, and then I'll be there.
So I get there. Fun fact about me, friends, is that Austie made some bad decisions a couple years ago, and now has to blow start his car. And
Yeah, I had to get a dick installed in his car.
sure did.
He's got a deep throat every time he wants to drive.
I'm giving a nice Hummer every time I fucking
A nice
have to
Hot
get
Tua,
anywhere.
yeah.
A
I call
nice
it-
Hot Tua. Yeah.
I call it a shitbox, but if you want to call it a hawk to it, you can.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, it's more of the times, I guess.
That's
Which,
true.
by the way, we can get on her because that's probably the most American story of all time. But
yeah, we already covered her.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gave her enough spotlight.
but anyway,
She already got the murder.
that's
murder
right.
bump.
We did.
Of 12.
But so anyway, it's I get up at like 6 because I know that I'm just gonna lay in bed until it's time for me to go, right? And I get there at 8 o'clock, and the line is already wrapped
Around the
around
building,
the fucking building. It's 30 minutes before they open.
Ooh, did you have to go down like off of Bell Road?
Yeah. The Hickory Hollow, the
yeah.
Department of Safety.
My
That's the best
least
one.
favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in this line. It's fucking 96 degrees out, right? I'm sweating my ass off. And like, luckily I'm behind the building. So like I get a little bit of shade, but like it's still pretty miserable. And the people finally show up. They come out and this cop's like, everybody, if you are here for a driving test, get in this line. The line that I'm currently in. Everybody else, go to the other line. So I got here early to sit in the line, only to get sent to the back of another line.
Yeah.
Were there signs posted or anything?
No!
No.
Why would there be?
Because it would make too much goddamn sense, Joseph. So here I am in the back of a longer line. And I'm waiting to get in this goddamn DMV.
Just glaring at the hopeful teenagers, you know?
but that's the
Yeah, seriously.
that's the best part is at least I was in the line and the line was increasing and I saw all the faces of the people that had to get into the back of the line that I was already in. And then they're just like, okay, yeah, we're here. We're going to get this done. And then they see it. They see the end of the line. And it's all the way back there to like the back side of the back parking lot. And it's just like the look of just like determination. Just
Fade.
It's not even a fade. It's a blank. It just goes like, fuck. You know, like, you're just like,
Well.
yeah, this is why I got here early.
Yeah. Welcome to adulthood,
Right.
you little fucker.
Right.
It doesn't get better.
Right. So I finally make it in, and like everybody's crowding around these 2 QR signs because that's all they have. They only have 2.
Yeah.
You know, they don't give you any sort of website that like it's just 2, and they're all crowded around here. Luckily, I'm 6'4", so I just put my phone up above everybody and I scan real quick, and I go and sit down, and like, oh my god, dude, watching these animals fight over the damn QR code has got to be one of the greatest things I've ever seen. I wish I was David Attenborough for this moment. And then just the people that would come out of it like, ah, where do I go? I don't know what to do.
Actually, yeah. What did the old people do? Like,
Oh my God, they're helpless, dude.
Yeah.
They're fucking helpless. Like this one guy comes in and then he's like,
I don't have a smartphone.
he's exactly. He's
Yeah.
like, so like what do I do? He's like, oh, you got to scan the QR code. He's like, well, I don't know if this flip phone's going to do anything.
Oh my God, you poor bastard.
It's like, this is the world we live in.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck old people. Can't do shit.
This
You
is why
should have stopped driving 10 years ago.
this is why predators grab the old and sick. You see those people just bumping into each other like Roombas, just like,
So,
Just like bumping, slight turn, adjust.
so I'm sitting there, and my number's D11. D11.
okay.
And I'm sitting there, I'm waiting.
That's a good number.
It's a great number.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, so D111.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not as
good.
good.
It's still good.
Okay.
I was like,
Dude, the
all right.
last time I was down at that exact DMV, it was D708.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
they get up there.
And I got there at 7:30.
I think
so
I saw
just
like a
so-
946 or something today. Like it gets up there
It's
and
bad.
quick.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, D111.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Seriously though,
It is.
It's exactly like that.
Too.
It's exactly like that. And so I'm sitting there, and yeah, like I'm getting the boo now servicing you 126, and you're like, not you, me, not you. And then boo, D105. All right, 105.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
Yeah.
And then it's like
Just 6 away, baby.
now serving D12. Yeah, baby. All right, let's go. Boom. Now serving D108. Fuck. And so like it's like you get the little text updates too, like you're next in line. You're next, and you have to hear like 12 more people go in front of you, like fucking next in line.
Yep.
And I finally get up to the counter, and this little gay man, very nice guy. He's like, I give him like the paperwork. He's like, hey, I need your SR22 insurance. And I was like, can I just show you my phone? He's like, I need a hard copy of it. And I was like, can I just print it off? And he was like, no. And I was like, I'm looking at his printer. I'm looking at it. I was like, are you sure? I mean, that's your printer right there. He was like, I don't know if the file's going to be good. I'm like, I promise you, it's a great file. It's going to come straight from General Auto.
The best file you've ever seen. I promise, buddy.
It's going to be a good file. And he's like, look, there's a FedEx not even 5 blocks down. Go there, print it off, coming back. Yeah. And then he goes, this is the most American thing that happened to me today, by the way. Mm-hmm. He goes, by the way, we have a new policy that just started today. You have to come back and you have to scan the QR code and get another number. But while he's saying that, I'm like, you son of a bitch. You're telling me I got to fucking come back, scan that damn thing, and wait in this line again? That's what you're telling me? But then I see him pointing to this little sticky note on my pack of papers that says, come back and see me. And I'm like, yes, my man. So like, I run back.
Austin
to
had his schlong out also. That helped a lot.
I will say, like, he was like, yeah, you're like, I don't know if it's going to be a good file. I was like, I promise you it's going to be a great file. It's like, well, I don't know you like that. I'm like, well, let's get to know each other, man. I was like,
I'll do anything to drive again.
I will bring you Starbucks
You wanna whip
right
that-
after we're done.
you want to whip that cock out right now? I will suck
I
it.
don't know how much more explicit I can be, but I'll do anything.
Right.
Please.
1 nipple, 2 nipples, like
Just rubbing your nipples, just rock hard.
please. So I run out to my car. I give my car a blowjob. I go to the fucking FedEx. I get in there. I'm like, luckily nobody's in this thing. I print off the piece of paper. I go back. I sit down, and like he's dealing with somebody, but he looks over at me like from behind this. I'm not even kidding. Like 6'5", 300-pound dude, and he like just goes. He shoots his head from behind this guy. Just gives me the nod. And then, like,
Oh, that's awesome.
And then he goes back. I was like, oh my God, thank God. And so like I scanned the QR code just to be safe and just to cover my tracks.
Yeah.
But like the guy finally leaves and I get the shit done. And like, you know, the scene in Zootopia where they're just taking their time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm right there. I am the fox in that scene where like, if anybody else was there, she'd be like, come on, let's do this. Like, I don't want to talk about what I'm doing for work today. I want to get the fuck out of here. But the fox is just sitting there cool. Like, yeah, cool. All right. You know, anyways, but I finally got out of there. It only took me about an hour and a half. I think it was a record time.
That's fantastic.
For a DMV visit. So shout out to my man at the DMV.
Hell yeah.
Because you made my day.
Yeah.
You made my day a whole lot easier.
You know, that is the most American thing I've heard, because an attractive, tall, white man getting special privileges. That's pretty American.
From a gay man
I mean,
prior to June,
from the American
prior to
government,
June?
yeah.
Prior to
Pretty
Pride
America.
Month.
Pretty America.
Hey,
Pride never ends, baby.
Just saying.
thank you, Pride people. You give it back.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Austin because I went through
Son of
the
a bitch,
DMV.
You just had to make this about fucking you.
I've been through the DMV process due to a DUI, as we all know. Getting the shitbox out of the truck is the most horrible thing in the entire world.
Can you describe it for the listeners that don't know about the shitbox?
As Austin was talking about,
The interlock device.
interlock device. Yeah.
Don't drink and
Process to
drive,
get
friends.
it is a huge deal. To get it out is even more of a process because you have to pass all of these like fine print rules right at the very end. And if you do anything to piss off that goddamn blowjob machine in your fucking vehicle, they just tack another 4 months on there just for fun.
Yeah.
Just for fucking fun. You get all that paperwork, take it in. I got to the point because of the DUI. Also, coming from where I come from, Birmingham, Alabama, horrible DMV situation. Like 3-hour wait.
You don't say.
Just to learn that you've been standing in the wrong line because nobody walks out and tells you what line you should be in. You walk up 3 hours later and it's like, hey, I need to renew my license. Like, wrong line, baby. And I'm like, which line? Is it that counter over there? Is it this counter over here? And they're like, I don't care. I was like, oh.
It's the one that's wrapped around this building like the hand that you want to put around my neck.
Anyways, everything's done, settled. It was a horrible process, but I finally got it done. But it did get me in the habit where I carry a folder in my truck at all times that has like every single piece of information they would ever want. Because I've been 20 times. Every time they ask me for a new thing that I don't have, I have to leave, print it off, access it, whatever. It goes in the folder. So I literally get up to the counter and I'm like, plop, 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 plop. Oh, you need something else? Plop, plop, plop. What? What else do you need? You know, like
Bam! 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 Like you're firing at the hip over here.
you need something else? Back pocket. Wow, what? You know? And my SR22 insurance, I got a letter in the mail saying that I didn't need it anymore. I said, oh, dope. So I canceled it. A week and a half later, I got a letter in the mail saying that I canceled my SR22, so now they're going to revoke my license. I go down to the DMV, and I'm like, hey, this doesn't make sense. Also, here's 15 documents that you may or may not need. And they're like, huh, that's weird. Maybe don't worry about it. And I was like, I stood here for an hour and 45 minutes for you to tell me maybe don't worry about it? Are you sure? It's
You're
like,
the
I don't-
department that kind of handles this shit.
I was like,
Can't you tell me if I should or should not worry?
and they were like, I don't know. And I was like, oh my God, I hate you guys so much. So I leave, get another letter. More threatening. I go back. This time, I go back. And
We're going to kill you.
We're going to take off your toes.
I'm standing in
Insurance
line.
back.
I'm standing in line. A QR code situation.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, scan this, figure out where to go. And I'm like, hey, this doesn't apply to me. Like every option in here is nothing. Like, oh, go talk to a human. And I'm like, oh, thank God. So I go up, same deal. And I'm like, he's like, huh. That is weird. And I was like, yeah, I fucking know it's weird.
And these guys are coming after my house.
So, they give me a number. I go talk to the guy. He's like, go talk to this other person. I was like, all right. So I would like do the whole spiel again. Just like, here's 15 documents. I think we're done here, right? Stop sending me threatening letters. And she's like, okay. And then goes and talks to her superior. And I could see him confused. I'm just standing at the counter.
He's probably thinking to himself, huh, that is weird.
And I couldn't quite hear what he said, but I heard what she said. It's like, I know, I feel bad for him too.
No way. You heard that? That's awesome.
And I was like, all
Did you
right.
tell him to not worry about it? We tried. You said he was here last month.
So she's like, she comes back and was like, if you don't mind, take a seat over there. I have called and emailed the department that handles this. And I was like, yeah, I know where they are. I tried to get into that goddamn building myself 2 weeks ago, but they don't let the public in. And she's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, oh, okay, goddamn it, America. So I sit down and this guy,
A public service building not open to the public.
Exactly, yeah.
That is the most American thing I've
it
ever
is so
heard.
America.
Yeah.
But anyways, a guy was sitting
We don't want to deal with them.
and he,
Yeah. What are we
they-
going to do? Let him in?
they call him up and like he's all taken care of and he's like, okay, thank you so much. And then he starts tapping his pants and he's like, oh shit, where's my wallet? Where's my wallet? Goes back to the seat like a row away from me. And we kind of like separate each other by a row. And he's like, fuck. And he's like looking under the seats and stuff. He looks at me and I'm like, I don't know where your fucking wallet is, bro. I've been playing Scrabble on my phone over here. I don't I'm just waiting, my guy, you know, stares at me a little longer and he's like, it's probably not him. Goes back and was like, seriously, where's my wallet? Full meltdown, full freak out. The like officer comes over and they're like, buddy, we don't, if it turns up, we'll call you. We don't know. And he just leaves just so pissed, like just screaming whole way out, you know.
What the fuck?
Somebody stole my goddamn wallet. I've been here for 3 hours and somebody stole my fucking wallet. 5 minutes later, comes back and was like, it was in my pocket. Sorry, everybody. Call off the search. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
You might have seen me go through a bit of a meltdown. I do apologize for what I may or may not have said.
God, that'd be like finding out you died and you've been in purgatory this whole time.
And so anyways, I get my turn. She prints off a whole new thing. She's like, best I can do. They say you're good. They changed something in the system yesterday, referencing back to you,
Right.
to where you legally are no longer required to have SR22. It hasn't caught up in the system yet. And I'm like, okay. So if I get pulled over, I show a police officer this document you just printed off, I'm okay. She's like, yeah.
More or less.
Depends on the cop.
And I was like, I guess that's good enough for me. And I was done.
And like your breathalyzer was out and everything. Like,
Oh, for months. Oh, wow. Yeah, like months and months.
wow.
Yeah. It was crazy.
That is insane.
I know.
I think nowadays, like, you don't have to have SR22 insurance until, or at least until like you're done. Like,
Yeah.
like as soon as the year's over with your breathalyzer, you don't have to do.
I was a
insurance.
weird like gray area.
Yeah.
To where I needed SR22. I think it was like 2 years after the breathalyzer was out of the vehicle. Then they changed the law,
Right.
sent me a letter saying I don't need it anymore. And I said, dope. And then canceled it. And then all that bullshit.
And then,
occurred.
but they hadn't caught up yet
Right.
because government.
Exactly.
Damn.
America.
You want to go?
Jaime?
Hang on. Let's see if I can do this right.
Are you gonna play music right now? Is that what
Is that how you're,
you gotta set it up. You gotta set it up with an intro. Is that what you're doing?
I'm trying to.
Is this duty free music?
Been sitting here for way too long.
Yeah.
Jesus
I'm going to
Christ.
let you boys.
Always
in.
got to make a fucking entrance, Jamie.
Proud of you. Okay, good
Thank
job. There we go.
tell your 30-minute DMV story. So
I'll make, mine's a lot quicker. What was it? To catch up all the listeners here, I was actually an illegal immigrant until I was about 25. And then when I finally became legal in the United States, I got to go to the DMV for the first time in my entire
you
life.
get to go.
But because I've heard other people complain the entire time, I'm at the DMV.
Well, to be fair, that is part of being an American.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
you get that
excited to go to the
experience.
DMV.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I had to take a driving test because it was my first time
I
legally
can't
driving. Yeah, dude, I was like,
It can't be that bad, guys.
so like, the reason
Rolling
why
up with a golden ticket to get into the DMV.
the reason why, hang on,
Got a golden ticket.
give me my music back. This is playing in my head as I'm sitting in the DMV. I'm like, this is a beautiful moment in American history. Don't they know we worked so hard to get here to build this DMV? I was there.
This perfectly square building with gray interior
and bars on the windows for no reason.
And the sad, gray-faced people working here.
I was at this DMV for, with such high hopes and the greatest admiration for America. And just over the course of 6 hours, lost every bit of it.
You walked in a patriot, you came out like death to America. I'm part of the Taliban now.
Okay, so like
he walks out of there. It's dark. It's dark out.
So because mine was such a special case, they didn't know how to handle mine, so they had to like redirect me to go to somebody else. And they were like, they gave me a new number. Like I was like A something. I came in at like 10 a.m. and then my new number, I forget what it was. But I'm there for hours waiting for this new number. And I go to the bathroom and
They called your number.
I guess they called my number.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I asked the lady next to me, like, I was like, hey, here's my number. Can you please just let me know? Or like tell them I'm in the bathroom. And she just like nods her head. I don't know if she like even spoke any English or anything, but I just assumed she like,
See?
so I come back and that probably happened around 1. And around 1:30, I asked, like, I go to the front and I was like, do you know if you guys have called this number? Sir, please, you just need to wait for your number to be called. I understand, but I just went to the bathroom. I just want to make sure. It's like, sir, we will call your number when we are ready. Okay. I'm happy to be here. Thank God I am in this circumstance in the first place. 4 o'clock rolls around.
Oh my God.
It's like that episode of SpongeBob where he's waiting on the bus.
I can't understand your accent.
And I'm like, there's no way. There's people that have like come in and left in the time that I have been waiting. And they're like, what's your number again? And then I say, like, here's my number. And they're like, oh yeah, we called that hours ago. And I am fuming. I'm like looking at this like, are you kidding me? It's like, and yes, sir, we cannot take any more people at
We're done
this
for
hour.
the day. Yeah. Because it was 4:15,
Because it was 4, yeah.
God.
So I have to go back to the next morning, and I'm there at 8 a.m.
Wearing diapers.
America.
I knock it out, and by 10 a.m. I have everything done. And then while I'm at the DMV, they're like, "Oh, you also need to get a new Social Security card to do this next step with everything." And I was like, "Oh, can you guys do that?" And like, "Oh no, you need to go to the Social Security's office, and they handle it." And I don't know if you've been to the Social Security office. It is the DMV. It's the next ring of hell.
Yeah. It's like if you die in the DMV and you are a bad person, they send you to the Social Security
There's an
building.
8th ring of hell? I didn't know.
So I get out and I end up at the Social Security's office.
There's somebody outside.
Like I leave the DMV. I think I get there at 8. I'm out of there by like 10:30. I go get some food. I end up at the Social Security office around 11:30. I don't leave there until like 4:30.
Jesus.
So my first American experience took 2 business days out of my life.
Yeah. And I'm imagining at the Social Security office, you're like, hey, I just wanted to make sure that you guys didn't call my number. Instead of saying you have to get back in line and wait for your number to be called, they just tase you.
No, so
Computer says
it's
no.
way smaller. But so you're thinking when you walk into the Social Security office, it's actually not too far from where we live, Grant, but it's way smaller. Mm-hmm. It's like one room. It's like a doctor's office. Like that's how small it is. Like, you know, when you go into doctor's office, like you got 5 people.
Yeah.
Same thing. But for some reason,
Each
It
one
is
takes an
even
hour.
slower.
Is it just as crowded?
No, so you're
no.
like you're waiting there for hours. You're like, what are you guys doing back there? What the hell are they printing?
I'm trying to find the right number for you. Should I put the 1 in front of the 5? Or maybe like in between a 0?
But I had a Social Security card already. They just said you needed an updated one.
For an updated card?
Yeah, I was like, can't I use my other ones? Like, you can, but you're supposed to have both. And I was like, for what? What will I need it for?
God.
So yeah, and those are my 2 days off for that week, and then I'll go back to work.
There's 9 numbers. There's so many possibilities.
We're going to have to cycle through because we've used all the Social Security numbers. It's like, there's no way. There's no way. Just print a new one. Well,
But if I do that, then I won't. I don't know. I've just got this idea for you.
I've never gotten a DUI, though I have driven drunk plenty of times. Don't recommend it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I got lucky.
The consequences are not.
The
worth it.
consequences are so bad.
Let me put it to you this way. This whole shebang happened well over 3 years ago, and I'm still dealing with it.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's a bad thing for you. It's a bad thing for other people. It's just, don't do it.
I'm not gonna lie. I think we should do an episode of Austin's
Misadventures.
DUIs.
Just
Because
across the
just
board.
Austin's DUI.
that true crime episode of Austin's DUI it's loaded and it's fun as hell.
It's so much.
Oh my god! I mean, honestly, like
From how the DUI happened to you going to remember you had to do your 48-hour lockdown thing?
yeah.
Oh my
And then Grant and Joey picked
Staged
you
a
up.
rescue mission.
Picking me up with a 6-pack of beer, no doubt, which was great.
Did we?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly handed me a 6-pack of Happen Harry's Tennessee Lager,
Well, we love you.
which I did not drink in the
Allegedly.
back of that truck.
No.
Which is
no.
which is legal in Tennessee.
That's right. And we didn't have roadies on the way either.
No.
No. So I didn't have to deal with any DUI stuff, but I did. I had to renew my license a couple of years ago, several years ago, I guess. And I checked what all the documentation I needed, whatever, birth certificate, pint of blood, Dixie cup of sperm.
Yeah. By the
Sorry,
way,
this isn't enough sperm.
Dixie Cup of Sperm is my new band name.
I have small loads. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. But
those are all in my folder in my truck. I get it. Yeah.
And it has been hot. It's baking up there.
Sir, we do not care if you have to goon to get us enough, but you're going to have to.
So I had everything. I brought a book with me. I took off work. I was like, hey, I told my boss, I was like, I'm going to the DMV. And if I get off early enough, because I have everything I need, I'll come in. And he was like, ha, all right. Yeah, basically he was like, I'll see you the next day.
If you don't punch anyone afterwards, you can come in if you want.
So I get to the DMV. I get there early. The line is already packed. I'm at the one near TBI off Hart Road, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
And-
East Nashville one, yeah.
Yeah, and I get there early. There's so many people there already. I'm like, you know what? That's okay. I brought a book with me. I've got
That's
my
the one where I was at for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I got my water. I got my diaper. We're
I've
good.
got like a thing of Chex Mix, trail mix, whatever. I've got a snack. I've got a water. I've got a book, and I've got all my paperwork. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be fine. 4 hours later, I have basically taken my shirt off because it's so
4
hot in there.
hours
I'm just
later.
sitting there, just mopping sweat, trying so hard to ignore the massive humanity around me. They finally call my number. I get up there. This sweet old black lady's just like, hey, how you doing, sugar? And I'm just like, better now that I'm talking to you, ma'am. So ready to be out of there. She everything looks cool. She types in my socials, she types in all my info and stuff. And then she's like, we got a problem.
Our system just went down. You're going to have to come back in 3 months.
And she's like, did you used to live in North Carolina? And I'm like, yeah, with my horrible, shitty, no good ex. And she's like, yeah, there's a bench warrant out in your name in North Carolina. And I'm like,
A bench warrant?
say
What's that?
again?
What is that?
It's basically a bench warrant is they're not actively looking for you, but if they catch you and pull you over, the cops, they will arrest you.
For what?
Well, turns out,
Could be a parking ticket. Could be actions of his shitty
speaking
ex.
of which, we got a twofer. Turns out my ex had gotten a lot of unpaid parking tickets on my car before I left.
Oh my god.
And so I had a
The bitch that keeps on bitching.
That's right. And I had an order to appear in a North Carolina court for a state that I don't live in anymore. And
Fantastic.
I didn't know it was there because they sent it to my old address where my shitty, horrible ex was. Didn't give it to me. Why would she? And so I had to call the North Carolina DMV and convince them to let me pay them over the phone $800.
Oh my God.
Instead of driving to North Carolina for the fucking privilege of paying them $800.
Please, I'll give you the money.
Standing in the parking lot, like lighting a cigarette off of my old cigarette, just like,
No, you gotta be here. How about I give you $1,000?
I'm like I literally was like, you can add a charge to it, please. Just don't I don't want to drive to North Carolina. They let me pay them over the phone. I get a new number. I get there, and it's like you. It was like there was like 4 o'clock, and they're like, and it's the same lady, and she's like, I'm really not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to take anymore. And I'm just like, man, please. I'm a broken man. Please. I've been here for like 8 hours. Please just. I've read this book 2 times. My Chex Mix is long gone. I'll do anything.
It's just down to the raisins.
And I refuse. I won't eat the raisins, but I'll eat the raisins if you'll do my paperwork. I'll do anything. And she takes pity on my poor soul. And she takes it. She puts it all in. And then I got my license.
Yeah.
And I texted my boss. I was like, I'll see you tomorrow.
America, go to the DMV. Oh my God.
Oh man. All right. Before
We should make DMV shirts for next July 4th.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Not a bad idea. Let's shoot a bunch of bottle rockets into the DMV. This one's for you, America.
There's nobody going to be in there.
That's right.
They're off.
That's right.
It's a national holiday.
Oh, it's so good.
Let's get into it. Austin,
Well, the
what you
cat's
got?
out of the bag. Austin's got an inside scoop for you today. It's been a while. I feel like it's been a while. Has it been a while?
Cheers and
It's been a
cheers
minute.
and cheers.
Yeah. Anyways, today we find ourselves in Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. Actually, I think I got that wrong. I think it's actually Toronto. But
You're covering the damn Canadians on USA Eve's Day.
this is just how the fucking the
Don't cookie crumbles me on this.
the
you
calendar.
un-American piece
This
of
is how the
shit.
calendar just ran. Okay, this is the story I got. Anyway, it's a district of Toronto, once thought to be a rather nice, peaceful kind of town, a place where you could raise your kids. But this hallmark town's fate all changed after the emergence of one of Canada's most prolific serial rapists, which was furthered into a state of horror after its unholiest bonds of matrimony. Today we dive into the chilling tale of Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka, the Barbie and Ken killers. Ooh. And you know what? Fuck you. Yeah, I'm going to fucking rake Canada through the coals on America Day.
All right, I'll
What's
take
more
that.
American than saying that Canada sucks?
Right. The Oilers suck. Go Panthers.
The most American state beat
The most Canadian city
At their own
their
sport.
own
and the
game.
most American state, Florida.
Hell yeah.
Praise hail, praise
We really
Dale.
should like move Washington D.C. to fucking somewhere in Florida.
I mean, it's the most accurate
Welcome to
representation.
Tallahassee, DC.
Tallahassee.
No, Tallahassee, DC.
Just like the next time you're like seeing C-SPAN, they just all got like fucking 40s in like brown paper bags. Like Kid Rock's there for some reason.
Everybody
I mean,
wears.
why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
Everybody wears suits with high platform boots.
And Crocs.
Oh yeah,
And or Crocs.
Yeah, Crocs.
Crocs.
For sure.
Anyway, so Paul Bernardo was born in 1964 to Kenneth and Marilyn Bernardo. They were financially a well-off middle-class family. From an outsider's perspective, they were just another average Canadian family. But beneath the surface was a household built out of a deck of cards. Paul's parents' relationship was an unhappy one that came as a result of Kenneth having, that came as a result of Kenneth having the formation demanded by Paul's maternal grandfather. So the formation of the marriage was demanded by Paul's mother's father.
Oh, okay.
Shotgun
Super
wedding.
weird. Yeah.
So like an arranged marriage kind of deal.
Kind of. Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, was it a shotgun wedding? Like
It was
they bumped up.
it was
these-
never said, I assume, but an
Probably.
arranged marriage regardless. And I've already lost my place.
No one distracted with questions. Okay? Just let 'em
I
read
gotta
the script.
focus.
The silentest episode of Murder Smurder. I'd love to interject with this joke, but I don't want Austin to yell at me.
It's more terrifying than the story itself. Years later, Kenneth would face charges for peeping and pedophilia and was abusive to other members of the family and would molest Paul's sister.
Huh.
His mother, Marilyn, was depressive and would often leave her family to visit other relatives during the weekends and eventually retreated to the basement. Despite all this, it didn't seem to affect Paul, who throughout his childhood was described as a happy kid. That being said, it was also noted that he developed a compulsion to start fires after a brief stint in the Boy Scouts. When Paul was 16, he faced two major setbacks. The first one, while his parents were arguing, it was revealed to Paul that his father was not his biological father and that he had been conceived as a result of an extramarital affair between Marilyn and her once favorite suitor before they were married.
Right.
And while you're on the shotgun wedding thing, Paul was the youngest, I think, of three. So I still don't know. But
Yeah. It could be the oldest child, but we don't know.
we don't know. This disgusted Paul. He began to call his mother a slut and a whore, to which she reciprocated by calling him a bastard.
That's good. It's a good burn.
Right.
It's good parenting right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You don't fucking call me a whore, you little bastard. Shit.
Mom, could you pass me the milk?
Fuck
I'm
off,
trying not to suck any dicks on the way.
you bastard.
so happy childhood.
It's a happy childhood, yeah.
Also, can we mention, it's like, yeah, he was a happy kid. He did burn down a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, which is a red flag.
Started fires.
That's a killer red flag.
He never
number one.
finished them. Oh, man. The second setback happened after Paul's first girlfriend dumped him for one of his friends. Having become tired of his controlling behavior, he retaliated by burning everything that she had ever given him. Yet, been there. Despite all this, as years went by, Paul was perceived as a charming and good-looking young man with a bright future ahead of him.
Hang on, didn't we do that with you? Didn't we actually set a fire to?
I think maybe metaphorically.
There was someone I said, like, I think their ex gave them a painting and we burned it. I could have sworn.
No, that wasn't me.
That wasn't you? Never mind.
Was that with us?
I don't know.
No.
There was someone, like, their ex gave them, like, in the relationship, like a beautiful painting, and he couldn't handle looking at it anymore. So he, like, I was like, we should burn it. And he's like, we should.
No, that wasn't me.
No? Sorry.
Unless I've repressed it.
All I remember is ash.
I've gone through a lot these past couple of years. After graduating from Sir Wilfrid Laurier Collegiate Institute, Paul began working for an American company called Amway, whose polemic sales culture deeply influenced him. He bought books and tapes from famous motivational speakers and applied his lessons when he and his friends met women in bars. The novel American Psycho was his favorite and considered his Bible.
What a fucking asshole.
What a dick, right? He begins grad school at the University of Toronto in Scarborough, and here he begins to develop dark sexual fantasies, such as what he called a virgin farm, where he would breed virgin girls to rape.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Fun stuff. Yeah, we're coming off strong with this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
guys. He enjoyed.
Did he say that in an interview, or is that written down? Or?
It's written somewhere.
They read it in a very cummy notebook. They were like, ugh.
This was from an
like
article.
he's writing to Playboy. It's like, yeah, I really want to start a virgin farm. Where
Right.
A virgin farm.
Ew.
This is from an article I found online. But
It's a bunch of fucking prepubescent girls running around, and he's just like, crap's coming in next. With like fucking hay in his mouth. God damn.
he trains them to jump over things. No, not funny. He enjoyed forceful anal sex and would often degrade his dates in public. Over time, he would begin dating multiple women at a time. In every single case, he was abusive and threatened to kill them if they were to tell anybody about the treatment that he gave them, that he subjected them to. It is believed that this is all around the time he began his spree, sort of towards the end of his college years. The first reported case happened on May 4th, 1987. A young woman got off the bus near her home where she was grabbed and brutally raped. The victim described a blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy next door who was likely in his 20s. Within the following week, 2 more similar assaults were reported, which led the police to believe that these assaults were committed by the same person. Quickly dubbed the Scarborough Rapist, over the next 5 years, Paul raped or attempted to rape 19 young women, all between the ages of 15 and 21. The attacks all included beatings, intense verbal abuse, and death threats to discourage going to the police. Most of the assaults happened at bus stops, but one of them actually happened inside one of the victims' bedrooms. It was the 15-year-old.
Oof.
Jesus Christ.
Some other gruesome details. I told you this one was going to be a fucking doozy.
It's a rough one.
Yeah. Some other gruesome details include stuffing their mouths with articles of clothing, holding them at knife point and inserting his knife, among other things, into his victims. He would shove their faces in the dirt, and he would rip out hair, including pubic hair, to keep as souvenirs.
Jesus.
All while forcing them to say they loved him.
Does this story involve this guy like falling crotch first into a wood chipper?
I wish it did.
God damn.
I
He
wish
finds
it
him
did.
a wonderful lady.
Don't
just turns
spoil
everything
it.
It's the Ken and Barbie killers.
I did say unholiest of matrimonies earlier too. At the beginning, the police were reluctant. Oh, this is a great Joseph story too, by the way.
That's sweet.
At the
Geared up.
beginning,
Oh, sweet. Thanks, Grant.
At the beginning, the police were reluctant to admit they had a serial rapist on their hands. That is until journalists like Philip Maskell, shout out to that guy because he's an awesome, awesome dude. By the way, a lot of this stuff I got from the Ken and Barbie documentary on HBO and then a couple of websites. But I wanted to shout out the Ken and Barbie because that's where I kind of got most of this stuff. And especially Philip Maskell because he's a Canadian hero. Journalists like Philip Maskell started calling him the Scarborough Rapist, which turned into a PR nightmare.
Well, yeah, because they're fucking hiding the fact that there's a
Right.
goddamn piece of shit
Right.
maniac out there.
So this puts pressure on the police, which led them to create Toronto's first ever sexual assault squad.
The first?
The first.
What year was this?
1987. Right.
Cops all over.
But I mean, in their defense, nothing like this ever happened in this town.
Could honestly be a testament to the town.
To the town of Canada.
For real,
Like, this
yeah.
has never happened.
You gotta be ready for that shit, man. You can't just fucking not tell people.
I mean, sure. But I mean,
I mean, it's like your guy. From
everything was hunky dory.
Like,
Which guy?
Germany was like, oh, yeah, we should not eat.
Oh, the cannibal dude?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I still say he did nothing wrong.
I mean, the cannibal dude had consent on
He
his
had
side.
consent.
Unlike this fucker.
This fucking
Right.
piece of shit.
But the investigation didn't really go anywhere, even despite the amount of physical evidence and the existence of a composite sketch that wasn't even shown to the public until May 1990. So now we're back. The cops kind of suck. After
Are
the
you telling me
sketch,
there's no blood or cum samples? Nothing?
Yeah, right?
we'll just let me cook. Let me cook, baby. All right. So after the sketch had been released, a massive number of tips came in. Go figure. So many that even when friends and ex-girlfriends of Paul tried to contact the police after seeing it, they were ignored because of how overwhelmed the police was. They were just unable to follow up on them.
Damn.
During this time,
How
Paul
dare
was
they not do their jobs?
I'd
I'd follow up, but I'm tired.
overwhelming.
I mean, it's not like this is my job.
I know who did it. His name is Paul. Well, that could be a fluke.
Right.
10 more people.
Do you know how many Pauls are in Canada?
Just fucking get a phone book, you fucking pigs.
To be fair, they have
Jesus.
traffic stops to do.
Yeah, they do have fucking homeless people to execute. Fucking indigenous women to leave out in the cold
Remember,
to
this
freeze
is
to death.
this
You
is
fucking
Canada. I'm not sure if that's what they're doing up there.
yeah. You ever heard of the fucking like the Blue Mile?
I don't read.
Just let you know, Joseph. Well, not Joseph. Austin, and to the listener, yeah. Pretty much how it's seen in the United States, like what like cops do to black people or people of color, they do to the indigenous people.
Yeah,
It's like really
fucking bad.
Yeah, their numbers don't look
We could do
very
an
good.
episode on it, but it's a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of bummers.
Yeah, I mean, not that this one's fucking rain and sunshine.
During this time, Paul was questioned by police twice and even gave DNA samples, but was never named an official suspect. After the sketch was released to the public, the Scarborough racist went silent.
The Scarborough racist.
The Scarborough rapist went silent.
The Scarborough racist is just an asshole. He's just like muttering under his breath when people walk by.
Fucking Canucks. So like they release a sketch and he disappears.
Yeah.
And I think I go back into those DNA samples later, but
Pin in the DNA.
put a pin in the DNA. So along comes Karla Homolka. Born in 1970 to Karl Homolka, spelt very strange. It's Karel for Carl.
Okay.
Homolka.
Curl?
Carol. It's spelled like Carol, but it's Carl.
Okay.
Yeah. He's an alcoholic Czechoslovakian immigrant and his Ontario native wife, Dorothy Seeger. Karla had two younger sisters, Lori and Tammy. Karla was well-adjusted, smart, very pretty, and popular. And like Paul, Karla's family on the surface seemed quite normal, but beneath the surface was turmoil. Her father would often get into drunken episodes where he would insult her mother, and sisters. And apparently at one point in their marriage, while the marriage was faltering, Karla's father took upon a mistress. And however, Karla's mother's response was to propose a threesome and to keep on as normal. But
Hell of a wife.
hell of
You
a
know what?
wife.
That's
Right.
A woman stands by her man.
I wasn't going to say it.
I have to lower. I have to say it. 'cause
Right, I'm doing-
Austin's presenting.
I'm presenting Joseph and everybody else has to lower the bar.
Right. Good point. Okay.
where are women like that these days? You don't find
They don't
them.
make them anymore.
Broke the mold when they made her. Guess we got our second Canadian hero.
Oh my god. The first one is the Edmonton Oilers fan.
Third. I guess we got a third. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Philip.
Philip's number one. Edmonton Oilers fan is number two. And this lady's three.
We all know who number one is.
Yeah.
Fucking look at
She
those.
got number one and two.
Fucking look at those milkers every day. Edit that out.
Leave it in.
Leave it in. I would leave it in that Edmonton Oilers fan.
Jesus Christ.
Take a breath. Settle down. It's okay.
Mommy. Anyway, so she proposes a threesome to keep things normal. Karla was known to be stubborn and domineering from a young age. She would never compromise with other children and would often speak her mind to adults. She did have a depressive episode while attending secondary school. She would dress nonconformingly, cut herself, and would claim false suicide attempts. She would also come to develop a sadistic and masochistic fantasies. But as she grew up, she became what was described a very bubbly, friendly, and again, like Paul, nothing in her outward appearance hinted at any sort of depravity lurking within herself. Paul met Karla.
Why are we hearing two different sides of the same story? On both cases, like, yeah, they were perfectly fine. Yeah, but
This
she
is-
also did cut herself.
This
and-
is kind of how it's presented, though.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, like, sure, yeah, like, and all this happened like when they were kids and in the past, and they grew up, and they're like, okay, like they've moved past it. That was a phase. Like, you know, he's got a good job now. She's a veterinarian. Like, they're doing things.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like it's a pretty common trope in true crime where people like to think that like maniacs or people who do horrific things are weird all the time, or that they're always being fucking assholes. When it's like no one's really like even when people do horrible shit, they're not like that all the time. You know what I mean? Like they take breaks or they just do normal shit
Right.
sometimes.
And also, I mean, like
Like-
talking about, you know, dressing nonconformingly or having depressive episodes. We all go through depressive episodes
fucking
as kids.
me
Like,
in high school.
Yeah.
Fucking like with my snake bites and
Oh, hell
like
yeah.
fucking like barbed wire necklace and shit.
Do you
Like,
have pictures?
Yeah, dude. We all
I hope not. I don't have them, but I'm sure my mom has them in a fucking leaking plastic tub in her basement somewhere.
Everybody goes through a sad phase, and for these two, a lot of it came from their parents.
Sure.
None of us killed anybody.
None of us killed anybody, but I mean, things like this happen.
But they try to make it seem like everything was normal, and then they snapped. When it's monsters just keep themselves hidden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyways, Paul meets Carla in 1987 at a hotel in Toronto while they were both in town for conferences. He was 23 and she was 17. There was an immediate attraction towards one another, and within 20 minutes of knowing each other, they went up to Paul's room. Carla was absolutely swept away by Paul. He was always very well dressed, put together, and had this swagger about him and a sense of ambition.
Yeah, because wasn't he like a sales guy?
He was super into sales.
Yeah.
I did read somewhere that at one point in his career, he quit the sales gig and started a smuggling business, smuggling cigarettes from the United States into Canada. But I don't know the validity of that.
Sure.
It's just something I read.
But at the time at the convention, he was like a young hotshot.
Yeah,
salesman
exactly.
boy.
He was working for that Amway or whatever.
God.
Okay.
Anything worse than a 23-year-old dude who works for sales?
Yeah, he's essentially a finance bro.
Yeah. He's the prototype for a finance bro.
I don't want to step on toes, but I do need to know, are we going to talk about his career as a rapper?
No.
Oh, man.
I didn't get...
Continue on.
We're going to have to add an addendum.
You continue on. I'll look up some of his rap lyrics. They're so good. Go ahead.
I didn't know that at all.
Also, editor's note, can we put a trigger warning for this episode? Sexual violence stuff?
Yeah,
Like a content
we
warning?
probably should.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might want to get into that.
I know it says explicit on all of our episodes, but you should put
Maybe just give people a heads up for certain content.
Right. Put the E twice.
Yeah.
Explicit.
This is extra explicit.
Rated E for ooh.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Well, aren't they just gems? Unfortunately, they just seem to go on forever, though. So, we're going to call that the end of part 1. Tune in sometime soon for part 2, like a day or 2, maybe 7, whatever. I don't know. Okay, bye. Like what you hear? Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Trashville_USA. And if there's a true crime story you want the gang to cover, email us at don'temailtrashville@gmail.com. Murder Schmurder is produced by Jamie. Our tracking engineer is Grant. And our mix and mastering engineer is Julie. Incidental music and our theme song is provided by Jules. This has been another production of